Good afternoon. My name is Brittany Hayden, and today I will be going over my proposal for Airmanship 201. So we'll just jump right into the introduction and a little bit about me. So I am recently medically retired from the Air Force after 13 years of service. We've been all over the United States, but we ended up being stationed in McChord Air Force Base in Washington. I was a part of the 627th Communication Squadron there, and that's what this proposal is written towards. So I am married to my wonderful husband of almost 3 years. We've got two boys, 15 and 17, so very busy life. Currently, we are in Oklahoma City, and I am still working for the Air Force, just as a civilian, doing my same job with working with computers. So the organization that this is directed towards is the 627th Communication Squadron. It's calm airmen. We deal with a lot of customer support, customer service, just making sure people have the capabilities to use the internet and their computers to do their daily duties. So there's that. So we'll go into the program purpose. So the need. We've been seeing recently an increase in failed PT tests, failed dorm inspections, dereliction of duty, things like sleeping on duty or being late to work, some disrespect for authority, not quite understanding the chain of command, and then things like missed credit card payments. So with this, the administrative action has increased significantly. So the goal of this program is to decrease that disciplinary action and increase productivity and inclusivity while decreasing that disciplinary action. So some of the course outcomes that we've got, so demonstrate knowledge of budgeting and TSP management, utilize customs and courtesies when speaking with customers, create a workout and nutritional plan to help with those failed PT tests, create a document that tracks activities to report for awards. Enroll in a college course and request TA, demonstrate knowledge of promotion system. So things like that that'll help them, these airmen in the long run. So these airmen that we're looking at are going to be 17 to 26-year-olds that are straight out of basic training and tech school. So this population is a lot like the undergraduate population. And some of the living experiences are kind of the same. They're living in dorms. They're probably on their own for their first time, and they've got some skills that they haven't quite learned, especially being in the digital age that we're in with phones at the fingertips and texting versus calling or talking to people. And so we really need to teach them and instill in them some of these soft skills that they're going to have to utilize throughout their careers when dealing with customers, because that is what our job is to handle customer requests and to support the customer. So we've done some research that shows a positive impact of these life skills trainings. For this age range, there's a couple that I had researched specifically, but the need is there for life skills and soft skills training. So we'll jump into the instructional design piece. So for program development, here's the program outline. So it's going to be 5 days, so a course of one work week. There are 7 different modules that will be taught within these 5 days. Each module will have its own assessment at the end. So the first one is going to be managing finances. And so I have a breakdown later of that and what that looks like. But overall, they're going to demonstrate that knowledge of budgeting and TSP management for their retirement. So the method, the instructional design method, is going to be constructivism. So with constructivism, it's supposed to be interactive. There needs to be assessments that include work and observation. with constructivism, knowledge is very dynamic and it changes with the students' experiences. So the more experiences you can roll up into this method, the better. And then it's going to want to elicit prior knowledge and apply new knowledge with feedback and reflection. So we do this throughout the program. In every module, we're going to start by eliciting that prior knowledge. What do we know about this? What have you previously learned about this? What applies to this? And then it's going to give them the instruction. So it'll have a tech sergeant, an E6 from our unit, will be presenting most likely a slideshow on that specific topic. And then from there, we'll go into role-playing exercises and then the assessments just to make sure that learning has been completed for that module. So a couple of let's go back into that. So on the cognitive level, we're going to want to apply knowledge from modules, recognize and correct behaviors that may lead to disciplinary action, and then they're going to have to demonstrate the knowledge that they have learned. And then on the affective side, we're going to understand the impact of paperwork on their career. So a lot of these guys don't really know what the disciplinary action looks like or what paperwork looks like. So we want to make sure that they understand that and understand how that affects them in the future. And then we're going to review previous learned information from basic training and recall some of that stuff from tech school that they've went over already. So there we go. So for program implementation, so evaluation of program outcomes. So this is done a couple of ways. There are assessments that will be done by the students after each module on the learning, the content, and the instructor. And then there will also be an evaluation of the program outcomes at the end of the courses. We will do qualitative and quantitative analysis. Quantitative is going to take a look at the amount of administrative paperwork that has been issued since the program has started and compare that to the numbers of disciplinary action from before the program started. And then the qualitative evaluation will come from the supervisors of the airmen that have attended the program. So we will have an assessment that goes out to them to fill out with some questions about the behavior of the students or the airmen after the training. So things like, have you seen an effect on their communication skills or their tardiness or, things like that. And then we'll also have a group discussion with those supervisors to kind of elicit more information, and it'll be a guided discussion. So we'll take those two sets of data and we will evaluate the program as a whole. So logistically for this program, we don't have too much to worry about. In the unit, we have a training room that is set up with 10 computers. So you've got your workstation, and then you also have the instructor workstation that's set up with a projector to do the slideshows and things like that. So all of that is ready. The only thing that we would need to do is make sure that we've reserved the training room with the training monitor, Miss Sweeten. So once that's done, logistically, we're good to go. We will be using Canvas for the assessments, and we'll be using Canvas to store data, the slideshows and things like that for the students to go back and look on. So for Canvas, we would need to make sure we'll be using the free version. So we'll need to make sure that the students can log in and the instructors can log in and get to all the information that they need to get to. And then when it comes to budgeting, we don't really have a budget that we need because everything is already there. We will be providing breakfast for these trainings that are occurring quarterly. So I did do a breakdown of each training with the dates, and then kind of each day the food and drinks that we will be providing. So one day we've got bagels from Einstein Bagels, we've got donuts, we've got some pastries, McDonald's, Chick-fil-A, and then the drinks. So each quarter when we do this training, it should be about a total of $200, and that money will come from the top 3 in the booster club. Now let's go into the program rollout. So we've got internal marketing and external marketing. For the internal marketing, I've put in this flyer that I created for the Airmanship 201. So it's a 5-day in-person professional development training focused on skills and tools for airmen to be successful. Program goals include less disciplinary action and increased inclusivity within the squadron. So it's got the dates and the time, and breakfast will be provided, and that's located in the training room. So we've got the topics on there. So managing finances, wellness and fitness, awards in the promotion system, career progression, educational benefits, and things like that. So it's all there. Hold on. Sorry, my dog was messing with me. So that's the internal marketing. Word will spread from leadership down to second line supervisors, down to first line supervisors, and down to the airmen. So we don't really have much external marketing because it is going to be an internal training to the unit. So our champions are going to be that top 3. So we really want to win over the top 3, those chiefs and senior master sergeants and master sergeants, so that they can present it for us, so that they can, talk about how good of a program it's going to be and some of the benefits and all of that. So their word is gold. And so when they start to promote something, everybody else kind of trickles in. So they're going to be our main champion. And then from that, we'll also rely on the supervisors to be champions. So for them to talk positively about the program and not make it a negative thing or something like the airmen are in trouble or anything like that. So we just want to make sure that the light that shined on it is positive. And then once we get going, we'll expect the airmen that have been through the program to be champions as well, just to talk about the benefits that they've gotten from it, and just to talk about how well the next group of airmen will enjoy it. And then, like I said, for external marketing, there's not a whole lot that we need to do because it is internal to the squadron that the program is for. So let's see, for the conclusion, so some key factors for success, it's going to be those champions. We want to make sure that our champions are getting the word out there and shining that positive light on the program. And then it's going to be the airmen too. And we want to make sure that they are happy to be there, that they're ready to learn, that they're not disgruntled or upset or, just looking at it through a negative lens. We want to make sure that their experience is positive. We also want to make sure that our E6s, our implementers for the trainings, are prepared. We don't want them going into it blind or, not knowing what they're talking about. We want to make sure we've got people that are developed and prepared to give this training. It is also an opportunity for them to expand on their public speaking and their instruction. And then for the key outcomes and goals, we kind of already talked about that, but we want to make sure that we're decreasing the amount of disciplinary action that's being received by these new airmen. And we want to increase the productivity of the airmen and also their supervisors and their chain of command. Paperwork and disciplinary action takes a lot of time and effort. And so when we decrease that, we're increasing that productivity for the airmen as well as their supervisors. For the return of investment, We'll look at the quantitative and qualitative analysis. That data will be sent out to the squadron through emails, and then it'll also be briefed at the commander's calls. One of the points I forgot to mention in program rollout, so we talked about the champions, but we also need to talk about the overarching approval. So the commander of the squadron will be the overarching approval. So it's currently a she, Colonel Dempsey. And so I, along with the rest of the team, would need to get her on board and make sure that she supports it before we go any further. So this is overall the Airmanship 201 program. I hope you have enjoyed listening to it, and then I am open to any questions, comments, concerns, and any advice that you may have. Thank you. Bye.